Hi everyone, today I'd like to talk about Taotree acrylic paint markers. I was able to purchase these at a discounted price for review and testing purposes. So what they are is a set of 24 water-based acrylic paint markers basically. And if anyone has used the chalk markers that were popular within the last few years, it's basically the same concept. You just have the paint in the marker itself. So the box was all in Chinese. So I just kind of took pictures of, again, the color swatches so you could see what colors came in the box and just the overview of the general box. And this was all the markers once they were laid out. So as you can see, it includes great colors. It includes a gold, a black, a white, and a silver, and a variety of general colors. And then this was the color swatch test that I took. The white was a little hard to see on the scan, and as well as it's kind of like a peach, I guess, or a beige. And then this was the tip of the marker. They're like I can only say that it's kind of like a styrofoam, I guess. And it writes well and it draws well. And then this was just a quick video to show you how to get the markers going when you want to use them. So you just shake them a couple times and you take off the top and you press them on a surface. So I just tested the marker out on just a piece of regular scratch printer paper. So it does take a couple seconds for the ink to start flowing in. I'm sorry, for the paint to start flowing into the tips. So it may vary depending on the color and just general weather situations. So as you can see there, the paint was almost completely saturating the tip. And then I just kind of did some quick little tests. Pretty much, I just kind of wrote high so you could see how well it writes because it is a rounded tip. And I was very happy. It didn't have any like excess bleeding. It didn't have any overflow of paint coming out of the pen. Then this was just a quick little doodle that I drew on that piece of paper. And I was very surprised that it didn't bleed through the paper, which was nice. And again, it drew smoothly. It didn't have any skipping or any excess paint that was running out of the tip. And as you can see, it didn't bleed through the paper at all once again. And the next thing that I did was I actually had some extra tiles lying around, so I figured I'd try them out on tile because according to the manufacturer, you can use them on a variety of surfaces. So I just cleaned the tiles with alcohol really well and let them dry. And for the glossy tile, they worked out really, really well, as you can see here. I imagine if you wanted to use it like to make your own coasters or anything like that, you would just seal the tiles with a decoupage or another type of sealer. And once they dried, the colors dried well. They're not like too bright or too matte. And then the textured tile was a little harder to see, but again, since it was a textured tile, I just figured it would be a pretty good test. And for the glossy tiles, once again, it worked very well. This would work great if you want to use, I guess, like label a bottle for the holidays. And this was a paint project that I had that's kind of in process. So I cleaned it off and I just drew some random things on there as well, and I used a stencil. So it was just kind of an interesting little side idea to see how well they worked on other surfaces. So this is what it looked like once it dried, and it worked fairly well. So I was pretty well happy with the outcome. So stay tuned, I have a little more that I'd like to share with you guys. Hi everyone, I wanted to give you guys just a little more of my insight about the Taotree acrylic paint markers. So as you can see, they come in a nice little box, which is great. They are very easy to use. As I showed you, you can use them on a variety of surfaces. So far I've been pretty happy with them. I didn't have a problem with them. When I did get some on my hands, it did wash off quickly. It does say that it is a water-based acrylic paint. So this was again just to show you just a little bit. Let me put a post-it note on the inside so you can see a little better. Just to show you what the outcome was after everything was completely dry. So it makes clear lines, which I can't say it doesn't. There you go. So you can see a little better. So as you can see, it did work fairly well. And I used it with the stencil, and it worked with the stencil fairly well. So I didn't have a problem with it. I really did like it. I don't know how scratch resistant it will be in that sense, but I guess if you're going to use it on a project and you're going to go ahead and seal it, that'd be fine. So again, this was just to show you the general outcome. So this was the little tile that I did, and as you can see, it dried well. it's some of the colors, I will say, depending on what you used, it does kind of dry, kind of, I'm not going to say that they weren't vibrant, but they're a little kind of like a matte color. So I'm assuming that you can always go back and touch them up with something else, or maybe do a mixed media project if you want to add acrylic paint over the paint markers. And this again was the other tile that I did, and as you can see, it worked fairly well. I mean, once again, if you're going to use it, you want to make your own homemade coasters. If you're going to have a party or something, it'd be kind of cool. Or if you have small children and you want to do a craft project. So basically, again, if you wanted to use these like as a coaster or something, you would just add either decoupage or another type of sealer, possibly triple thick, to just seal it so it's at least slightly water resistant and it'll hold up and it won't, the paint won't flake off the actual tile. This one was the one that I will admit was a dud because it was a textured tile. So it just seemed like the texture kind of faded out the rest of the design, the idea that I had of this tile. But all in all, I mean, it's not so bad. They're very nice. They're great if you want to be creative, or if, again, for the upcoming holiday season, if you have small children, if you like to do different types of arts and crafts. And the nice thing that I like though about these markers is that you don't have to deal with the paint all over the place. You just go ahead and you grab your marker and do your drawing or your artwork or whatever all you wanted to do with it, and then you just put the top back on and put it away. So that's kind of the nice convenience of it. So please check them out, and thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see.